You thought that the whole catfishing situation was there. There was a couple moments on the show where you guys thought that had gotten to me to an extent, but it wasn't. I mean,
something.
It was that, but overall, big picture, it was. I've been dealing with. I was on. I still haven't found actually, I did find a decent medicine that was helping me, and then in February, when my new insurance, after I got off my work insurance, kicked in, they wouldn't cover it.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was like $400 a month if I wanted to stay on it. And I was like, well, I can't afford that.
Damn it.
And so then there was a while where I wasn't taking anything. And it just made... I don't know. It made days really difficult to deal with, and I was more easily irritated and more frustrated than normal.
Have you
for months?
You remember that I mentioned that medicine I take, the cheap one, the citalopram? Had you mentioned that to your doc?
No, because I don't
know. That's up to your doc if it's good for you or not. But this is, I mean, I'll tell you what, man, it is really taking the edge off for me. I mean, I was. Obviously, I was in a bad spot after the firing, but just in general, I don't get mad at anything anymore. I'm just there was a couple times where I've had exchanges with people, but I tend to talk my way through it. But it's much different now. It's easier.
Okay.
And it might be worth it if you can get a minute with your docs here. Say, hey, what do you think of them? A friend of mine takes this medicine.
Yeah.
Do you think I might be a candidate for this? It's non-habit forming. And it takes, like a lot of those antipsychotic medicines, it takes about 30 days to start to work because the medicine needs to be broken down. What it does is it gets in your belly, and then it's dissolved, and then it works its way into the components of your tissue in your brain. The mechanics are, it gets down to a microscopic level, gets in your blood, and actually settles on these various receptors and parts and blockers into your brain.
Okay.
And it's real subtle, but everything's great. It's not like, and you won't even realize that it's working till like, oh God, you know what? I haven't really been agitated or experiencing anxiety in a long time.
Huh.
And it's good. My wife just started taking it too.
Interesting.
And the way she described what she goes through, she didn't have suicidal tendencies like I did or you did, but the rest of it sounded similar to me and similar to you. So I would just bend. You know, a lot of times if you call your doc and you talk to the practitioner, the nurse, you can mention that to them and they'd be like, And then they kind of put you on the fast track to get in and talk about it, or sometimes they'll just prescribe it over the phone. Because it's non-narcotic. So it's easy for them. Because a lot of times with a narcotic, they're like, okay, bring you in, got to take a blood test, we got to ask you a questionnaire, see if you're a junkie.
Yeah.
This isn't like that. So, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Is this, okay, one question though. Before it started working, was there, like when you first started taking it, was there a drowsiness, grogginess to it?
It's remarkable. The side effects are, I'm not making it up, yawning.
Okay.
There's two side effects. If it goes poorly, if you're taking this medicine, it will increase your anxiety. And that's rare.
Yeah.
But for most people, you're like, you're not tired. I wasn't tired, and my wife experienced the same thing, but we kept yawning.
Okay.
Now that faded over time, but side effect of CITA citalopram is yawn. So it's remarkable. But no.
It's better than one of the side effects of my last medication, which was man boobs.
Yeah, forget that. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it'll work for you. Who knows? I think we've touched on a lot of stuff, and I think it's cool to end it here because I think... And getting into anything else at this point will pale compared to the things we have discussed on today's show.
All right.
That's it. We're running.
And on a dark note.
I don't think it's a dark note at all. No, not at all, man. I'm super excited about... please don't do that. Please don't do that. I'm super excited about working with you on Monday.
And he is dead.
Oh, God. I'm glad you can joke about it. I'm not coming.
I have to. That's the only way to cope.
Ben is a funny man, and he is a stalwart and is going to help me out all next week. Check out the Eric Zane Show. Here we go. The new era begins with this. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't be a stranger. Reach out at any time, eric@ericzaneshow.com. I got to get you an email address. I'm going to give you OJ's.
All right. I'll be OJ at ericzaneshow.com.
No, I'm going to change it all up.
Okay.
So there's that. Now remember, if you have a friend who you think can relate to anything we've talked about, because we've covered some pretty heavy stuff here, make them listen to this podcast. Tell them where to cue in when it gets real. And hopefully you can encourage some of your friends to listen to our show on the radio on 107.3 WBBL during the commercials of their favorite show. For Benjamin Michael, for the Drop Machine, Marcus Bradman, Dave Grant, the world-famous Dave Jackinette, and all of us here, enjoy the weekend. We'll talk to you Monday.
Hi, I'm comedian Griffin Newman.
And I'm film critic David Sims.
Together we host Blank Check, a movie podcast where we overanalyze directors' complete filmographies.
Steven Spielberg,
George Lucas,
James Cameron,
M. Night Shyamalan,
Christopher Nolan.
the Wachowskis. Each new miniseries, we discuss filmmakers who experience early success and are given a series of blank checks by Hollywood to make their own crazy passion projects.
Now, sometimes those checks clear, and sometimes they bounce, baby!
Subscribe to Blank Check with Griffin and David on Apple